This is Joe Zekas from YoChicago. It's a Friday morning in early April. I'm on Belmont Avenue, just east of Western, heading east toward my office. I've been making this trip for about 7 years now and seen little real change during that time. There have been, for sure, quite a few new condos built, but they haven't much affected the character of this strip. Vacant land and rundown vacant storefronts have been replaced by vacant storefronts in new buildings. This was a reasonably affluent area 7 years ago. It's become a very affluent area, and its population density is reasonably high. Belmont Avenue is heavily trafficked by cars and by cabs and buses headed toward the Belmont L stop. In theory, the area's affluence, density, and traffic should make this a successful retail dining strip. That's the theory. The reality is something else. It's what you're looking at. Tons of vacancies, low-intensity service establishments, but very few stores or restaurants, and very few pedestrians. We're approaching the corner of Belmont and Damon and the very popular Felger Play Lot. When the weather warms up a bit, there'll be a swarm of little kids here. Little kids, almost no teenagers. Why is retail such a bust along Belmont? Along this particular strip, what demand there is seems to have been sucked up by Roscoe Street, 2 blocks to the north. Pretty successful strip in Roscoe Village. But that's only part of the answer. Part of the answer is the discontinuous nature of retail development along this strip. Homes are dotted in with stores, and you have very few continuous rows of storefronts. The real question, I think, is why neighborhood retail, except for a few pockets of ethnic strength and hyper-affluence, is in such dismal shape all over Chicago, and whether anything can or should be done about it. The question is important because so much effort and so much money is being spent in so many Chicago neighborhoods in an attempt to revitalize retail. A lot of hopes are hanging on it, and a lot of dreams. I think the prospect of revitalizing neighborhood retail is a pure pipe dream. Our culture has changed, and shopping patterns have changed along with it. The types of stores that made these neighborhood strips successful, the bakers, butchers, tailors, appliance and TV stores, jewelers, men's, women's, and kids' clothing stores, repair shops, shoe stores, and so on, are gone. And they're not coming back. We've just crossed Paulina, headed towards Lincoln, Belmont, and Ashland, a major intersection crisscrossed by active bus routes. If there's any place where retail should be thriving, it should be thriving here. But as you can see, it's not. There's major loft development across the street from what you're looking at, and several other major lofts along Lincoln Avenue. Whole Foods moved in half a dozen years ago, and the increase in density and purchasing power, one would think, would have spurred quite a bit of retail development along Lincoln Avenue and this intersection at Belmont. Didn't happen. There's been some improvement. Wishbone has opened a successful operation just a block north of here. Some new stores have moved in, but there's still a lot of seedy, low-level retail and still quite a few vacancies. A major development is planned across the street on the current site of the LaSalle Bank building. That development will include about 30,000 square feet of retail, and if successful, it's likely to suck demand away from the surrounding area rather than continue the revitalization of the area. We're now reaching a stretch where the continuity of the retail strip is going to be broken by a church and a school and by a senior's apartment building across the street from what you're looking at here. As we've crossed Ashland Avenue, headed east towards the Belmont L stop, this is an area where the pedestrian density increases because it's an easy walk to the Belmont L stop. You're still seeing vacancies at the commercial level of the new condos that have been built along this strip. Existing storefronts are vacant. The retail that's here includes resale shops, a few fairly successful restaurants with a neighborhood dining focus rather than drawing from a broader trading area. A strip center that's fairly successful. It includes an Einstein Bagel, a Connect Kitchens, and a Chase Bank branch. A BP Amoco station. You're now at the corner of Racine and Belmont, getting ever closer to the Belmont L stop. The retail that survived to the east of here caters, it seems, to what the population of the area was 10, 12, 15 years ago. Doesn't reflect the affluence that's here now. Vacant storefronts. There are vacant storefronts on the opposite side of the street. A poverty program office occupying a prime corner. Resale shop. Some successful restaurants in this area, but again, also vacancies. And a liquor store with a Walgreens on the opposite corner. As we swing on to Sheffield, a 6-story condo building has been built just to the west on the opposite side of the street from what you're looking at. And a row of storefronts just south of that, which are vacant. Although a medical office has moved into one of them. We're about to turn the corner to my office, and I'll be signing off now. Joe Zekas, YoChicago.com.